News Weekend Edition.
Good morning, I'm Lauren Osborne. Today's Saturday, July 2nd. Let's check in with meteorologist Arden Gregory for a look at your forecast this morning. Yesterday was picture perfect. What can we expect for the 4th of July weekend?
Well, the weekend's going to be off to a fairly nice start in the very least. Today looks fairly nice, but we do have increasing rain chances as we go through the rest of your weekend, and Independence Day actually looks fairly soggy. But the good news is right now we are nice and dry across eastern Kentucky. Pinpoint Doppler showing nice clean sweeps as we scan the skies for you. No rain in sight, and we will stay mostly dry throughout the day today, but we can't completely rule out a stray shower or two later on this afternoon and evening. Temperature-wise, starting out nice and mild across the mountains this morning. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s. Many locations sitting at 66 degrees right now. Paintsville, Prestonsburg, as well as London. Middlesboro, cooler at 63, and Richmond, the cool spot at 61 degrees this morning. And then Moorhead, actually still hanging out in the upper 50s, but everyone is going to warm up into the lower 80s later on this afternoon. So if you have plans to get out and about today, it's going to be a pretty good day for it. But as I said, we have some increasing rain chances for the rest of your weekend. I'll have the details on that a little later.
All right, Arden, thank you so much. Battling blazes and distractions. First responders in Martin stayed busy Thursday night. Firefighters fought two fires, which began only 30 minutes apart. But while they were battling the flames, police had to respond to another problem at the scene. They ended up having to arrest a man for assaulting a firefighter. WYMT's Chandler Markey has the details.
Around 8:30 Thursday night, Martin volunteer firefighters responded to a fire at BRC Trucking Company on Route 122.
I was actually driving by when I seen the smoke. It was just heavy black smoke coming out of the building. I turned around, went back, got a truck, and by the time I arrived back, it was just a defensive fight for us.
About 30 minutes later, another call, this time on Jennings Street.
The fire department and myself was notified that we actually had another structure fire on the residence you see behind me.
Maytown Fire Department assisted with both fires, and while no injuries were reported, police did have to deal with another problem.
I came down here and I observed a male subject that was extremely irate, yelling, screaming at the fire department personnel. The fire department personnel was advising him to leave, and he wasn't leaving.
Brett Campbell allegedly caused distractions to firefighters who were trying to battle the blaze.
He wasn't a firefighter, so we requested for him to go ahead and leave the area. He didn't leave the area and kind of got abusive with one of our firefighters and ended up assaulting him.
It did not take long for officials to make a decision about what they needed to do. Shortly after controlling him, Officer Mitchell says they arrested Campbell. In Floyd County, Chandler Markey, WYMT Mountain News.
Campbell is charged with disorderly conduct and third-degree assault. Firefighters say the fire on Jenny Street appeared suspicious and has been turned over to the Kentucky State Police arson investigator. Yesterday, we learned when a man facing charges in a Johnson County arson case will appear in court. Raymond Pennington is set for arraignment on July 18th. Deputies arrested him Thursday at his home. We're told Pennington is charged with conspiracy to commit arson. The fire happened last week at an apartment complex on Combs Drive, just north of Paintsville. Police say a disagreement between several people ended in a shooting yesterday. Officials say at the height of the dispute, Brandy Sloan shot James A. Pratt. The shooting happened in Knott County near Pippapassas. They say Pratt was shot at least once in his lower chest. He was airlifted to Pikeville Medical Center. Police arrested Sloan on a possession of a handgun by a convicted felon charge. Further charges are pending while the incident remains under investigation. Details concerning the events leading up to this incident remain unclear. Hitting the road, Independence Day falls on a Monday this year, which means a three-day weekend for most folks. Police say traffic on Interstate 75 in southeastern Kentucky was already congested yesterday and will likely stay busy over the next few days. They're also reminding folks to stay safe and pay attention on roadways during the holiday weekend.
Watch for the person in front of you or behind you weaving in and out of traffic, not using their signal. If you feel like it's went on for some period of time that it's causing a concern, call us. We'll check that vehicle out.
Trooper Cochran says there's a zero tolerance policy this weekend for people not wearing a seatbelt. During the last few weeks, we've told you about bear sightings in Pulaski and Clay counties. Now you can add Whitley County to that list. Dispatchers there say they've received many reports from people who said they saw bears. WYMT's Phil Pendleton shares some of those 911 calls.
It is not the kind of call that dispatchers are used to getting. One in Whitley County thought the caller at first said there was a fire.
Oh, there's a fire. Okay.
No, a bear.
A bear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big old grizzly bear.
Actually, most people said they thought they saw a big black bear. Most were on Whippoorwill near Bee Creek in northern Whitley County.
There is a bear that's climbed a tree right in front. This is not a tale. This is real. There was a bear in my yard.
Dispatchers connected all of them to state police, who then contacted Fish and Wildlife. Police say bears have been spotted since early June near Corbin and the Woodbine communities.
Something the public needs to be reminded of. These are not domestic animals. They come down to get food any way they can. They get it from your garbage cans. They get it from bird feeders.
One man said he thought the bear was more than 6 feet tall and 500 pounds. Another neighbor feared her neighbors were going to kill it.
And there's a guy out here that's got a gun that's going to try to shoot it. And she's supposed to have cubs, and I don't see the cubs, but now she's got a tag every year. If a guy shoots her, she's going to turn wild.
Police say most times bears are just after food and should not be aggressive. In Whitley County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Most of the calls to the Whitley County 911 Center occurred between June 1st and June 30th in the early morning and evening hours. This is video from a viewer in Harlan County. Here you can see a cub climbing a tree on the side of a road near Cumberland. Bears are common in southeastern Kentucky. A mama bear and her cub were also spotted wandering through the woods in another part of Harlan County. These videos were taken only a couple of days ago. Well, a federal grand jury indicted a Laurel County physician, Dr. Anis Chalhoub, faces up to 10 years in prison and $250,000 in fines. Investigators claim he defrauded government health care benefit programs like Medicaid and Medicare. They say he participated in a scheme from 2007 to 2011. He allegedly implanted pacemakers without sufficient medical need or justification and submitted claims for the procedures. A judge in Louisville dropped a lawsuit filed by Governor Matt Bevin's administration trying to fine Planned Parenthood for performing abortions at its Louisville clinic. Jefferson Circuit Judge Mitch Perry ruled Thursday they were given approval to perform abortions at the clinic from state regulators under Kentucky's former governor. Perry ruled the clinic did not break any rules. The lawsuit was filed in February by State Cabinet for Health and Family Services. They were trying to make the group pay nearly $700,000 in fines. Well, the downturn in the coal industry has actually led to a turnaround for the manufacturing plant in eastern Kentucky. Like many businesses, the Logan Corporation was suffering with every coal job that left our region, but the company reinvented itself and is now poised to expand and hire dozens of laid-off miners. WYMT's Tanner Hesterberg reports.
Applications are stacking up, many of them filled out by laid-off coal miners hoping to use their skills in a different capacity.
What we have found is there are a lot of guys out there that are willing to work, and that work ethic can carry over from the mining over to the manufacturing that we're doing.
Randy Reisner is General Manager of Manufacturing and Engineering at the Logan Corporation's plant in Martin County. Logan Corp's business slowed significantly when demand for their mining equipment plummeted, so company officials decided to start making beds for dump trucks. And now business is on fire once again. This is the board Logan Corp uses to track its orders. Each magnet represents an order. The red magnets, blue magnets, and orange magnets are orders for dump truck beds. Right now there are more than 100 of those. The white magnets represent orders for the coal industry. There are just 5 of them.
The Carolinas, we've got them pretty saturated right now.
Reisner says Logan Corp has supplied dump beds to dealerships all over the East Coast. Demand is so great the company wants to expand from this building to the old Joy Global facility in Salyersville. Joy Global closed last year, laying off nearly 70 people because of the downturn in the coal industry.
You know, right now we're surviving, and we've been in survival mode for a long time, and we're tired of that.
this facility will give us an opportunity to grow and get our business back to a point where we were during the coal boom.
Hoping business continues to boom, so former miners and others looking for jobs have a reason to keep their heads up.
Just Thursday, the Kentucky Economic Development Finance Authority approved a $2 million tax incentive for Logan Corporation. The company is still waiting for Joy Global to approve a purchasing agreement for the Salisbury facility. If approved, the expansion could create around 70 jobs, and many of them could be filled by former employees of Joy Global. Coming up on Mountain News this morning, one 12-year-old girl is spending her holiday weekend in police custody after leading them on a high-speed chase. And ahead in sports, an NFL legend laid to rest. We'll take you out to Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, where former players and coaches pay their respects to Buddy Ryan.
And not a bad start to the holiday weekend, but July 4th will be a bit of a different story. Stay with us. I'll have the details in your full 7-day forecast when we come back.